Olemme valmiita tämmöiseen loppuyhteenvetoon ja kukapa sen parempi yhteenvetäjä kuin meidän tutkimusjohtaja, hyvät ystävät, Per Mickwitz. Tervetuloa lavalle. Per Mickwitz, olkaa hyvä.
Well, thank you. Kiitos. I'm not going to summarize this very inspiring discussions. Instead, I want to remind us why we are actually here. Because at least I was so absorbed with all these interesting discussions that I forgot about the whole thing, that actually this is the anniversary of Syke, 20 years. So I want to go back to that. I mean, we didn't want to talk too much about what we have done so far. We want to focus on the future, the challenges ahead, and how we are jointly going to find some sort of solutions, some sort of new possibilities. And I think that these discussions are excellent examples of that. But in order for us to understand the mess that we are in, we have to understand the dynamics that have created it. And we talked about and the issues about path dependence and lock-ins and a change and things were discussed. But in order for us to understand what could Syke contribute with, we also have to understand something about the dynamics of Syke. And the dynamics, as you all know, consists of two parts. It consists of stability and change. So we have to understand both of these. If we look at the 20 years of Syke, we have seen both stability and change. The most clear example of stability, some would even say a lock-in, even if we are here today, is our building at Mäkelininkatu. And well, we would like to move to Viki, but we are not there yet. But at the same time, we can see a lot of change, because today we have offices in Jyväskylä, Joensuu, and Oulu as well, that we didn't have when we started. When Syke started, and when I started there, I wasn't there from the beginning, but 18 years ago, projects was not the normal they were not rare species, but they were not the normal form of life. Today we are a completely project-based organization, so we can see some change. And actually, if we really want to see sort of stability, of course, Lea Kauppi's stability, she has been there all the time. But let's use some some. You have all seen, we have the social media, and you have tweeted a lot. I saw many of you were tweeting all along, but let's use some more old-fashioned sort of social media. So let's think back 20 years, and think about if this seminar would have been there, how many of you would have attended? How many of you would have been in a position that you would have been invited and have attended this seminar? Hands up! I can't raise my hand. So we can see some stability and some change. And let's imagine that we will have a next seminar 20 years from now. How many will be here? Oh, yes, great. All right. Well, tomorrow, as you know, it will be an important day tomorrow as well in the environmental field, because tomorrow the European Environment Agency will release their new report, State of the Environment report. This report is under strict embargo still, so I can't tell you any details, but basically it will sort of give even more evidence on the things that we have been talking on today, and what it will show very clearly is that Europe is on the way to reach a lot of targets that we have set for 2020, but we will not reach the big target of living well within the limits of the planet for 2050 unless we come up with new policies and new things for the future. But this is not only a challenge about substance, about policy, it's also actually a challenge for knowledge production. And that was something that was raised a bit already. But I think we have on one hand and it was, I think this was really great, that we have to sort of fix the concept. We have to compass. We have to sort of really think about what is the knowledge we need, but also how do we use the knowledge we already have. If we think about Syke for a minute, during the first full year of Syke's existence in 1996, Syke produced 26 peer-reviewed international journal articles. Last year, we produced 250. if you think, well, then you would think that there are 10 times more information that could be used for policy produced by Syke. But that's completely wrong, because actually the whole amount that we have produced during these 20 years is available, and we need to find what is essential. So then there is more than 2,500 peer-reviewed articles. But we don't just do peer-reviewed articles. If you look at everything we have done, there are more than 11,000 publications. Oh, but then we're just one player. In Finland, we have Luke, and we have the Meteorological Institute, and we have Aalto University, and we have the University of Helsinki, and so on and so on. And then all these issues are international. It's a huge, huge challenge. How do we make the best use of the information already available? And then we need to find out what is the information that really triggers action, and what is the information that really makes us learn from this bottom-up and from these top-down actions, what is changing the systems and transforming them radically into this more sustainable direction, and what is not, what to support, what to learn. And that is a big challenge, and this will require a new form of cooperation. And many are talking about a co-design of knowledge, where users and producers of knowledge are working much more closely in cooperation from the beginning, not just when the researchers have been studying things for a decade or two. And actually, I think this is what we need. Dialogue is what is required in a new way, and this is what we have to be involved in. I want to end by saying that I think actually the whole challenge, we shouldn't just be depressed and see it, and especially in Finland, that it's so difficult and we will suffer from this. This is actually a huge opportunity also, and especially from Finland, it's a huge opportunity, not just because we have a lot of natural resources, as we have heard, not just because we have a lot of environmental information and time series and a lot of knowledge, but because we have an excellent possibility for cooperation. And I think this is really symbolized by this seminar, the attendances here and the discussions we heard. We have already here, it's much easier in Finland than in many places to talk between industry and administration, industry researchers, different sectors. It's really easy for researchers to get access even to a minister like Pekka Haavisto. I think we should really make use of this in the future, and I think we should begin at the cocktails right now.
Per Mickwitz.